So today we are making duck curry and roti. Curry is one of those spices, those powders that's loved globally. It's well known all around the world, and it originated in the Indian subcontinent. Some countries include Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, and Nepal. The word curry itself, spelled K-A-R-I, actually means sauce to be eaten with rice. What the Indians found is that when you pair it with this flaky, delicious dough called roti, you get a match made in food heaven. And that's what we're gonna attempt to do today. This is Keon here with Key Flavors, and I'd like to welcome you to this episode of Masters in the Making. I have 2.5 cups of 00 or unbleached flour. We also have 2 cups of AP flour. I have the link to all of the ingredients in the description below, so you guys can kind of go check that out and make this at home yourself. So first, I'm gonna go in with a pinch of salt. Now I'm gonna mix all of this together. And this will give me a great yield because I gotta take some over to the family later. And now we're gonna go on with just a little bit of warm water. We're gonna go in a little at a time and mix it in with our spoon first before we start kneading it. So I'm just gonna go in like this, and I'm gonna mix that up, right? And texture is everything when you're making this. So if you don't get the texture right, especially at this stage, it just won't come together at the end. And then I'm gonna go in with all of it, and then we're gonna combine that. So just flip it over, fold it into itself when you're kneading, and just let it come together nice. So now when you're kneading and it starts, like the dough starts sticking to your hands, you just get a little bit of flour and rub your hands together, and it'll get everything off. As you can see, do you see this like texture right here? That's kind of the texture that you want to get. You don't want it to be a stiff dough, right? I'm just gonna go with a little bit more flour, right? Just so that it will come together. When you're kneading this, you don't want to knead it too rough because then it'll get very stiff, right? So you want to leave it, just give it a nice knead, and then that's it. We don't need to go any more than that. But you see how it kind of like, how it pulls apart like that? Like this is the texture that you want, okay? And for my masters then, y'all, fact check me and let me know what y'all think. We're gonna pinch, pull apart a piece, and then we want to fold it in on itself. So you kind of just go in a circular motion, and then that's it. Fold it in on itself, put it right there. Wash, rinse, repeat. Squeeze, pull. If it gets a little bit sticky, you could just add a little bit of flour. Fold it in on itself, and then that's it. But what we want to do right now is we want to let the gluten relax. Flour, you want to think about it like a muscle. So now when you're constantly stretching it, the same thing that you do if you're doing a stretch or a leg exercise or whatever it may be, when you stretch too fast, your muscle will do this thing where it contracts. And the same thing with the gluten. The more you stretch it, the more you knead it, the tougher and tougher it gets, and the more it'll start contracting. I don't know if it's to protect itself, but that's just what gluten does. So what we want to do is we want to let these rest and get back to its normal, relaxed state, because then the mouthfeel will be a lot better when we actually eat it. It won't be all tough and just a really bad texture. So what I'm going to do is, while these are resting, I got some damp towels that I'm going to put over this just to keep that moisture locked in, because we don't want these to dry out on us. And now we're gonna make our curry paste. That's why we made our curry powder. And one of the things I would say is that usually if I have store-bought curry powder, I would have to toast a little bit extra of some of my spices, the fennel, the mustard seed, some of these spices. I'll retoast them, I'll grind them up, and then I'll add it while I'm making my paste, because sometimes I just need that flavor a little bit more intense. But since I was completely in control of the curry powder and how it came out, I don't have to do that. So I'm not gonna add any of this in there. So we're going with our curry powder. We're gonna go in with some Maggi. I'm gonna go in with my green seasoning, our homemade green seasoning. When I use ginger, I like the full intensity of it, right? So I just wash the outside and I go in with the skin because you get a lot more flavor. You get a lot more of that ginger if you do it that way than if you peel it. So I'm just gonna go in like this. I'm gonna go in with about 3 cloves of garlic, but when we get the garlic ready, sometimes you'll see garlic, like this is the perfect example. Like you see that little green in the middle, right? Yeah, that's not edible, it's not digestible. So what we'll do is we'll take that all the way out, right? And we'll get rid of that on the inside, right? That's how you prepare your garlic. And then we'll grate the garlic in. Now, remember my green seasoning, when we made it, we had that riri pepper in the blender that I add the green seasoning to. Now, just like the pepper pot episode, it's gonna be just a little bit spicy. So us Guyanese people, we like to use a nice cane sugar to kind of balance that spice a little bit, and it just adds a nice profile to your dish. So I'm just gonna go with a little bit of brown sugar. All right, don't knock it till you try it. My mom put me onto it, so this is it. Then another little secret that I like to put in my curry paste is some ghee. Put just a little bit of ghee in there. That's very, very nice. That comes together so nice, you guys. You gotta try it. This is why we made this. We're gonna go in a little bit more depending on how the flavor develops in our actual curry. But I'm gonna put in some of the duck stock into my curry paste, right? And then we're gonna mix this up. All right, so you could already smell that. That is very, very intense curry flavor. Okay, so now we're gonna continue with our dough. You're gonna need just a little bit of flour on the side. I'm gonna mix some oil and a little bit of ghee, and I'll mix that together. We're gonna flour our surface. It's better to do this if you have some foil paper, because then you could just put foil paper down and then the cleanup is a lot easier. I'm gonna roll this one out just a little bit, not too much. Then I'm gonna add some of my oil and ghee mixture around on top. I'm gonna sprinkle some flour on top of that, and then I'm gonna cut it right down the middle, and then I'm just gonna roll it all the way around, and then I'm gonna stuff it in the middle, and there we have it, right? Sprinkle some flour on top. So what we'll do is we'll just get the stew on, we'll let that simmer, and then we'll make that roti last so it's nice and crispy and it's not soggy right when I'm ready to eat it. Just like the pepper pot episode, I know this is not the conventional way to do things, but I promise you, if you do it this way, you'll get a whole different flavor. So we'll take these out of the bag. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of my oil. Okay, so now we're finally ready to make the curry. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of my oil. I'm gonna go in with my onions. We're gonna go in with some of the peppers we got from the garden. Mix that up nice. A little bit of salt because that helps remove some of the moisture. Now I'll go in with all of the duck. We'll go on with our curry paste. All right, so now we're just gonna mix that all in. And then now we'll go in with some water and then just cover all of our protein, all of our duck. The last thing we have to go in with is some potatoes. We got these from the garden. We clean them, we peel them, and now let's just go into the pot because I don't know if you could really call it curry without some potatoes in it. So we're gonna bring this up to a boil and then reduce it to a simmer, and then we'll get into finishing our roti. The final thing to do is to make our roti. I'm gonna put, in this bowl, I'm gonna put a lot of my oil. So olive is good, a garlic oil is really nice. I just love the oil ghee combination when I'm making my roti. And then I'm just gonna mix this in. I'm gonna flour my surface. And then you're gonna wanna get, let's get a bunch of paper towels. Then it'll want to get a bunch of them and clump them, and that's kind of the way I was taught to do it. To get it nice and damp, we're gonna leave that in there. I'm gonna turn this on. So remember, this is why I tell you guys, you need a tower, because the tower is what you're gonna use to make your rotis and stuff like that. This gets hot very fast. We're just gonna really get all the way around the tower. And now we're gonna roll out our roti, flip it. All right, so now there's an efficient way to do this. And what you wanna do is, so I'm gonna just flip, catch, put it on the tower. I'm gonna get my oil, and then I'm just gonna get on this side too, right? Because we want that nice and moisturized when we're cooking. While that's cooking, I'm gonna put some more oil down, and then I'm gonna roll out my other roti and just have that ready to go so that I'm moving just a little bit faster. So now you're gonna want a jar for when you take this off. All right, so now this is ready to be flipped. I'm just gonna pat down the sides that start to dry out, and you see how that's rising up and floating up nice? That's exactly what you want your roti to do when you're cooking it. So when you handcrafting it, before I show you guys the jar, right? You flip it, this is done, this is ready. I'm just gonna turn the flame down on this. I'm gonna cool that down. And when you're hand clapping it, you pick it up, right? And you clap it so that it will get nice and flaky. Let me show you guys, that's how you want your roti to look when it's done. All right, I'm just gonna do a quality check for the first one. Yeah. So I'll take this one, I'll put it in the jar, just let that cool a little bit, and then I'll get my pan nice and oiled up. I'll put the next one on. And while that's going, I can knock this out. I'll just put the cover on, give it a nice shake. Okay, y'all. And this is nice and ready to go. So okay, so now we have our duck curry ready. We have our roti ready. Now the final thing that I like to do before I get to the plating is just to taste this, see where we at, see if I need to add any final touches. And then we'll go in. I'm getting that curry flavor heavy. I'm getting the spice. It's the salt. I really thought I would have had to add salt, but the salt is really good on this. I don't have to add any salt. What I will add though, a little bit of black pepper. All right, so we're going with just some fresh black pepper. I just want a little bit more kick in the spice, and I'm gonna give this one more taste. That's it. That's everything that I want in this dish. Okay, so I want to thank you guys for tuning in to this week's episode of Masters in the Making. If you liked everything you just saw, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you guys are updated every time a new episode drops. Next week's episode, I'm calling out all the masters because I really need your help in this next one. I've tried it multiple times. Who knows? I might get a little bit of grace in next week's episode, but we'll see. So until next time, to God be the glory, stay blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.